Good afternoon and welcome to Nora's Dog Training Company. We're here this afternoon with Samantha and Fred, and what we're going to be demonstrating for you today on video is Samantha's ability to understand and respond to her formal on-leash obedience commands, the correction and the motivation that we give the dogs when we're working with them, and the training equipment that we're using. Fred is using a regular 6-foot web training leash, and he keeps the bulk of that leash folded neatly in his right hand. That leaves his left hand free to give any correction that's needed, and the only correction that we give is a gentle tug and release on the training collar, and that is the second piece of equipment that we're using. The kids are going to come home with their very own training equipment, and you're going to be taught how to use that properly during your follow-up training session. Now, Samantha is sitting very nicely at Fred's left, which is where all of our obedience training is done. And the first exercise that we're going to be demonstrating for you is heeling. Heeling is proper walking on a leash without pulling you, and the command is Samantha heel. At this point, Samantha has a job to do, and that is to remain even with Fred's left leg when walking, not forging ahead or lagging behind, but staying right with him and matching pace with him. And each time that Fred stops his feet, she has been taught to sit automatically without being told to wait for her next command. And the next command that we're going to demonstrate for you is the sit-stay. The stay is a hand and a voice command, and because it is a stationary exercise, you are not going to use her name. The sit-stay for a mature dog is working all the way up to 3 minutes. So you can practice this inside. We're supposed to be getting a record-breaking 90-plus degree week upcoming, so train inside. When Fred returns back to her, he will walk all the way around her as an additional distraction and return right back around to where they started. Everything starts and stops at that heel position, and they take off walking again. Now, being able to walk your dogs, each one of you taking a dog to walk them and having them well under control, and heeling and sitting automatically when you cross traffic, and staying, all of those things, it's great for their minds to be worked, and it's great for you to have a little bit better control. Fred will leave her in another sit-stay. He's going to walk out to the end of his leash, and he's going to face her. And this time, instead of returning back to her, Fred is going to call her, and this is the come on command. He praises her on the way in, and she's supposed to come right in and sit. And then they go back to heel. We keep our praise light during the course of the training session because you want them to stay focused. So you don't want to be praising them real heavily after every command, or then you lose them and you have to get their focus back on you. Fred leaves her in another sit-stay, and we're going to demonstrate the come on command again. And when you first start working with them, work them separately until you get the hang of it, because they're very different dogs when they're not together. And you want to treat them very much like individuals. I know this training course was thrown at you because you were in a bad situation, but we want it to work for you in the practical application as well. Now, the next exercise that we're going to be demonstrating for you is the down from a heel position. So with the dog seated at your left, you take your left open palm, push it straight down toward the ground, and give the one-word command to down and stay. The thing about doing obedience training with mature dogs is that they've never been forced to really do much or use their brain. And they kind of have the attitude like, why do I have to do this now? When Fred returns back to her on that down stay, he's going to again walk all the way around her. And she's to remain lying there until she gets her next command. And he's just going to heel her around so that we can demonstrate that down from a heel one more time. So when you stop, she sits, and always have her seated before you give her the down command. Your down stays, you can work all the way up to 5 minutes. And once you have the hang of training with them, then you can start training them together. This time Fred will call her out of that down stay. She comes right in, and she should sit. If she doesn't, he's going to tell her to. And the very last command that we're going to demonstrate with her is your down from a distance. So you're going to leave your dog in a sit-stay. You're going to turn out at the end of your leash to face her. You're going to use your right hand to give the command and give her the down command. That was very, very well done. So we've demonstrated for you all of Samantha's formal on-leash obedience commands. You're going to see when we work with Truman that his attention span, everything is completely different, and just shows you what individuals you have when they're not treated like they're attached at the hip. And we like to get to see that. So we've really enjoyed having them. They've been great. Very nice dogs. I want to thank you for choosing Nora's Dog Training Company.